YouTube by showing your computer exploding to a sound card issue. Well, you could probably get a lawsuit out of that. This sound card blew up my computer.
I love this bit, right? I can sit here and play with my overlays and get this all set up. And the camera is following the players down the map without me. Look at it go. Look at it follow that Nautilus. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of a directed mode for actual casting, but it is great for just kicking back and just watching a game. For actual casting, it just hops around a bit too much.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it off in a second, but the fact that I can get my overlay set up and you guys can still watch things is brilliant. So, let's turn this off and get back to my lovely middle mouse button. And it looks like Embrace the End are going to be quite aggressive as we start off here, and with a Taric, who can blame them?
They have the Taric, they want to go for a good invade. They're taking a very interesting route. There are pings going out, they might have been spotted. I don't believe, no way they got spotted with that, so. They're going to run into this ward over here, placed down by CLG.
Green Taric lead the way. There we go, straight on top of it, and I mean there's no need for a ping, but CLG have definitely spotted them now. And as a result, they're going to go in and take the enemy blue buff for their Amumu.
I love how synchronized the pings are.
What's Snoopy starting with? Regrowth Pendant Health Potion, okay. They've recently changed again the mana you get off these big camps, haven't they?
They're a little harder than they used to be, so it's going to be that much nicer for Amumu. One of the most mana-dependent junglers in the game.
Yep.
Well, this could be pretty bad for Embrace. They're going to go back to base. They're not going for that steal. They're going to run into CLG at this blue buff. And Vladimir's not going to be there to fight.
They must have a suspicion CLG here, or not, or they just believe they're at the blue buff. And Wicked, halfway through his recall, spots them. He's going to walk into wall 5. This could end up being a double. Pirat flashing away. Actually, okay, that could have come off a lot worse. He just gets out, burning a summoner and losing quite a bit of health. But his bot lane has arrived.
That was a great flash, by the way. Good reaction.
And the blue buff drops. Snoopy takes that more or less free of charge. And CLG come out ahead. So they're up already. Let's see how it plays out. Nautilus, he's a strong ganker. That dredge line, providing you can land it, the snare and the slow. But his flash makes it a little bit risky. He's not the tankiest of champions as the game starts, is he? You need to get a few items under your belt first. As Creeper gets stunned in the bottom lane, there's the burst from Cringel. Straight down to half health, despite that armor buff from Soraka.
He's actually fairly squishy early on, so that's going to be something to deal with. Especially without that blue buff, his jungling is going to be very slow. That was a great pick from CLG. Without a blue buff, and also at half health, it's going to be hard for Pink Pirat to really get into those ganks as soon as he wants to.
Froggen's taking so much poke off Almighty Jesus in the mid. He's already through 2 health potions. He's down onto 200 health. He keeps missing his Qs as well. That's the 3rd shuriken I've seen him miss since I've joined the mid lane.
Well, missing a shuriken isn't the big deal because, you know, it's a skill shot and you don't have any energy, just toss them out like crazy. But have you seen the movie? Oh, there's stun coming out onto Yellow Pete. Never mind, just disengage. Have you seen the movie The Big Lebowski? Don't mess with the Jesus. Here's a quote I'm just going to put out there.
I think I should watch.
Same point though.
Yeah, go on.
Well, Almighty Jesus is actually fairly low on mana himself now, so that poke, it's pretty much over, and he's actually going down. The Ignite's coming out from Frog, and Almighty Jesus should go down, but he'll be back in 3 days.
Oh, sneaking that in there. Level 4 Froggen then, first blood to his name. Out of health potions, that's not too much of an issue. There's not really much that Pirat's going to be able to do and sneak in and grab this. So, first blood on that mid lane, which I had just pegged as going not so well for Froggen. But he's out of flash, he's out of ignite. Maybe Galio Nautilus can make something happen in this 3-minute period. Let's say so. Strong start for CLG, taking that flash away from the jungler, stealing the blue buff, slowing him down because of that, and now grabbing a first blood 1v1, which is not something you see so much anymore.
Almighty Jesus actually just got a bit overconfident. His pokes were great, but once Kennen started landing his shurikens, his HP just disappeared. And he did not react properly, he did not play safely enough, and eventually just a good follow-up got him down.
The right Skype conversation. Make sure somebody's not yelling at me. And settle back in for this. So let's look at this bottom lane now. Soraka, once she starts getting level 3, level 4, that armor buff really starts to hurt. Kog'Maw, you can see how he's going to build this. I watched a game the other day, the TTS matches, bot lane was Graves v Kog'Maw again, and it was such a passive farm fest. Kog'Maw went back. First buy was Berserker Greaves and Infinity Edge. That's how
awesome.
rich he was, straight up. It was immense, but I don't really see that happening this time around. Taric seems to be a little bit more aggressive.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that passive, and especially until Amumu 6, they're going to be a bit more confident in their ability to pressure. But the thing with Graves and Taric is you have to wait for that right time, and generally it's going to be when either Taric and Graves are level 2 or 3, or level 6. That in-between time is when they deal decent damage, but not enough to burst someone down, and once you have the Taric Graves level 6 combination, that is just amazing amounts of damage coming out.
We do have Nautilus. He's poking him mid, he looks like he wants to. And he's not quite going in, he's waiting to see if he can probe a reaction from Froggen. And the ward's not there, so there's no reaction to probe. Just wait and watch it.
Against Froggen's not going to work. Even with the CC, they just don't have enough mana on Jesus right now.
Yeah,
I'm never going to call him Galio.
Froggen is Vladimir is being stared down by Snoopy and Wicked. Wicked's out of mana himself, but Snoopy's double buffed and he's now level 5 and he's going to go for it. His mana's forced to Ghost, Bandage Toss will miss, and that's going to be the end of it. But Snoopy's blue buff just ran. And he's still taking a little bit of poke for his trouble. He's just going to hold the lane. Wicked's going to base.
Yeah, Snoopy is actually really good at ganking somebody like Vladimir, just because that sustained damage from Despair is really high because it's percentage based, and Vladimir, well, he's got a bunch of HP and actually decent MR because he's against Warwick, but still, the idea is there. So I think right now Warwick just takes a lot more damage from Vladimir. He will eventually win.
They're going to dive in
Pink
top
Rats.
lane. Samakas and Pink Parrot's up here. There's the ult comes out from Vlad. He's tanking the tower. Not the best idea. There we go, pooling it to reset the aggro. Snoopy will drop. Vlad gets the kill, and Pink Parrot walks on out of there. Without the... Oh, the red buff actually ran out. Samakas got the kill, didn't get the red buff, but Warwick has returned. He got that movement speed buff. He's not going to chase it too far though.
If Samaka stays in the top lane for a few seconds and Wicked hits 6, he is dead.
He needs to get out of there. Wicked knows this. He's trying to cancel it as best he can, Samakas. You need to get your recall on. How long's Wicked got? 2 more creeps, and they are there. But it's a little bit too little too late. Samakas is going to be back out. No, it's safe. Has Froggen been placed yet? He has. He's halfway through his Hextech Revolver. How often do you think we're going to see this Will of the Ancients? Or do you think he's going to stop at the Hextech Revolver? Because it's now more expensive. You've got to build a Blasting Wand.
Yeah, 2,500 gold versus 2,100 is pretty huge. So it'll be a lot less common, I think, on some of the mids who could get it up situationally. But on someone like Kennen, you'll probably see Revolver first if they want to stay in lane forever, which Froggen won't, being the mid lane. You'll see them pick it up if they just want to sustain. If they want to be aggressive and do something else, they'll go for something more important and damaging. Because that 1,300 gold you have to spend to upgrade it that's a massive difference. It's a second Revolver, which I actually saw someone buy accidentally yesterday.
I'm sure we've all done it, looking to buy a recipe and ended up buying a second.
Oh, back in the day. A second unique item. Back in the day, I used to buy like 5 revolvers, keep stacking them because they used to stack, and those were the days.
I remember those days. I was still here for that. Vladimir's running like 8, well not 6, but you know what I mean. Vladimir running 5 revolvers. God, that was stupid.
But it was such a stupid item at the time. Riot noticed it and changed it quite well many times.
I'm surprised it took so long for people to pick it up.
Well, Revolver used to be 10%, so that's why it wasn't common, just because, well, it wasn't good. As All My G's takes a bit more poke. He has blue buff now, so he should be able to farm safely, but once Froggen feels confident enough, he can just flash in, ult, and ignite, and possibly get the kill. That mid tower is actually going to go down the next creep wave.
He's really low, and see where the Pink Parrot tries to do anything, but she's Froggen. Now with his flash up, he's got that lightning rush, he's got his ult more or less ungankable, and something goes very well with their CC chain for Embrace the end. Pink Parrot, he is coming around the backside, drops a ward. Froggen suspects something. Comes in with CPS using his lightning rush and his W. Yellow Pete. The Yellow Pete's still not used a single health potion yet. Okay, he's got a Soraka, but not too much harass at all coming out from Graves and Taric.
All that early harass seems to have gone to a Crepo, so Right now they're just being passive. They could go for a kill once they feel the chance, but I think they need to get some poke on first. Which they're just not letting happen. Yellow Pete and Crepo just pushing up like crazy. What you can do with the Soraka lane.
Yeah, my kid seems to be faring a little bit better now that he's got this first null magic mantle. The revolver is complete on Samicus. You say, obviously, the Will of the Ancients can become a little bit more or a little bit less common on players that don't want to stay in the mid forever. But when you are running, sorry, it's a completely irrelevant point because they're on different teams. I was going to talk about Vlad and Kennen, but they're double.
Yeah, no, I thought about that for a second too, and I'm like, oh yeah, because Vlad and Kennen are always on the same team. But Snoop up in the top lane, going to go for Samakas. The ult comes out from Wicked, the Ignite's out there, the sun hits the creep, and Samakas will get ulted by Snoop there.
On the heal. The heat chase done the turret, the ult comes out from Samakas is not enough to finish Snoopy off under the tower. Mid lane, Froggen gets himself a kill onto Almighty Jesus again as he's killed the turret. He's really low though, and Pink Paracas is coming around the backside. He does spot him in a ward and he's out safely. But Snoopy seemed to be a little bit asleep there. Wicked popped his ult, and then it ran out and he pulled away, and then Snoopy responded.
Well, you know what, the Binding King of the Creep was enough to secure the kill in the end. That was not the best play, but they still got the kill. That's what matters. I just... just like seeing that Bandage Toss go out and hit a creep was just funny for me. He was trying to follow it up at the perfect time, but you can't do that against Vladimir. You can't wait till the last second to go ahead and use your CC like that, because, well, Vladimir has pool. And if you're off by a fraction of a second, that's enough for him to just pull on out of there. I wish there was a verb that could actually describe pool properly, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to turn to a liquid and float away.
Puddling. You can puddle away.
That sounds unpleasant.
That's the way to watch it. Bot lane has both been back. CLG are up by 2,000 gold. No dragons dead yet. 3 kills to 1. And 2 of these kills have been on Froggen. Kennen is not a character you want to start feeding, especially as he's building AP. And then burst damage becomes insane as this game proceeds onwards. Kog'Maw then. Berserker's Greaves, Doran Blade, and a BF Sword. Graves answer. 2 Dorans and a BF Sword. No boots. Interesting.
Level 2 boots I think are better, but I can see the situation if they actually do want to go for a burst combo. That 10 extra damage will matter more for skills. But they actually have to do it. At the same time, if nothing actually happens, they can just passively farm all day and all night. Which I think is actually going to be worse because Yellow Pete's got a great front line with the Froggen who's just scaring Jesus out of the mid lane, pushing up to his second tower without any fear.
Samicus top against Snoopy. Bandage onto a minion and ults, but misses Samicus completely. He pulled away, but his pull was outside the ult range even when it was when Snoopy's ult was cast. So, as you said, fraction a second off the timing.
Snoop has, I think he's a bit rusty on the old Amumu. This might be the only game we see him play Amumu right now. I hope CLG is just making fun of him right now, like, lightheartedly.
And there's the ult from Almighty Jesus onto Froggen in the mid lane. There's the knockups from Pinkpera. He will grab that kill. And Froggen, not quite indestructible. A little bit too far pushed up, and Pinkpera just coming around from the race with perfect timing.
And as you can see, right now we're not going to see a Woda onto Froggen. He's already building a Ryze. He's just going to go for extra CC and extra tankiness, which is going to be important because it's going to be a while till he gets that Zonius. And he wants that extra great CC.
Stone goes out to Yellow Pete in the bot lane. There's the buckshot, but he gets so much heal back from Soraka, and then the armor means the ultra attack to follow up does nothing. He just chase onto Taric, just a little bit harassed for now. They're not going to go too far in. But only boots and the filler stone, so Taric's going to have to be a little bit careful.
Even with the Soraka nerfs, we're still going to see Yellow Pete with 145 armor before that gets reduced by Taric in these fights. That's, you can't kill Yellow Pete if that heal is off cooldown.
In fact, despite that, I thought I was get another kill. Yeah, that small kill in the mid lane, slowly bringing this gold cap down to 1,700. 1,800 area. Kringle gets his recall cancelled by that one ultimate. And Wicked, he's got a wit's end up now. He's bullying Samicus up. He's up to that level 10. He's got plenty of mana to spam out this Hungry Strike. He can just sit there and the minions auto-attacking down and sustain on that champion, despite the small changes on his Hungering Strike don't seem to be hitting him too bad. And with Froggen lightning rushing straight in under the tower top lane, actually missing that. Doesn't get the charge off. Wicked's going to use his ult. Froggen's tanking that ult from the tower. And there we go. The Vladimir ult did land only on the one champion. And he wasn't really walking away from that.
Now, something to note is once Warwick gets a wit's end, if Vladimir isn't far enough ahead, that is the end of Vladimir. Eventually, Wicked's just going to start roaring at Vladimir, and Samaka's can't do anything. He's just not fast enough. Like, look at Warwick's move speed, 370 versus Samaka's 397. That doesn't sound right.
Does Warwick only have level 1 boots? No. No. Where is that coming from?
Oh, he's 402 now with that move speed. You could have move speed points and... Okay, so he's still going to be a little faster, but once he gets that move speed proc from his E, Samaka is gone. He will catch him, he will Q him, and he will kill Samakas.
Froggen lands another stun, and Jesus, he has got that bulwark up in time now. Should be safe. He's getting quite a bit of magic resist up now. And maybe he'll be faring a little bit better in this mid lane. Froggen is still really, really strong now. Giant's built up. It does look like he's just going to sit on that revolver, and now go Crystal Scepter.
Wicked's
completely.
Wicked's hanging around the bot lane. Looks like they're going to be picking up this dragon. They should get it for free because Samakas in the top lane means that any sort of contention is going to be punished with at least one kill. They can't get that dragon. They can't stop them.
And Almighty Jesus will straight across the ward. Froggen and Snoopy chain their ults together. He's forced to flash into the blue pen. Pink Pirate taking the rest of the punishment. Tries to dredge line away to a tower, to the wall. Dies before he even manages to throw the anchor. And Snoopy flash bandage toss, missing by mere centimetres on the back of that Taric, will mean only the one death for Embrace the End. CLG on the warpath.
I said at least. I said at least. And Samaka is actually going to get pincered here by Froggen between the creep wave. With that Kennen ult down, he might be able to escape. But that's a lot of damage Froggen's dealing right now.
There he goes in. He lands the lightning rush this time. One auto attack misses the Q. The stun still goes out anyway. Samaka's taking quite a bit of damage. He's got this red buff off from Froggen, but Froggen is by no means getting out of this scot-free. There we go. He is forced to back away. Samaka's doing quite well there.
He knew he could fight. That was a great move. He actually has a lucky pick. So going for a long game with that pick, or just, I don't know, taking that risk as bot turret falls, they don't really want to fight a late game composition because, frankly, CLG's late game is better with that Kog'Maw and Warwick.
And they've changed the pop-up so it does actually say destroyed a red turret now. Not just the voiceover that says red and then the pop-ups say purple. Never mind. No. 5 kills to 2 for CLG. They're up by just over 3,000 gold. Embrace the End. They're not out yet. You cannot write them off. They've still got a lot of damage, a lot of AoE. That Galio ult, the Vladimir ult, the AoE slow from Nautilus, as I remember his name, the armor reduction from Taric, and then the massive burst damage on top of that reduction from Graves could, if all executed perfectly, be devastating. And they're not too far behind.
Proper skill usage can make up for pretty big gold deficits.
Let's see whether CLG allow that proper skill usage, whether they do a good job of positioning well enough to shut it down in these team fights. And at the moment, Wicked seems to be the target. Almighty Jesus just CSing with his Resolute Smite will go straight into the mid lane, waiting for a taunt. There he goes, and he actually gets dragged out a bit by Pink Pirate. Not the best idea, but he was pulled him back. Didn't actually land any damage from Almighty Jesus. Samaka's does try and land what damage he can. I think he actually missed his ult. Wicked will drop, undoubtedly. And the ult just comes off cooldown for Samaka, so they didn't actually use that at all. Yellow Peak grabbing a kill in the bot lane onto Taric. They were trying to tower dive. Peak's so low, but that was one Soraka heal would have been enough. 300 health is all he's sitting on. And Creeper's got himself an Oracles now.
Ooh, that's going to be very scary, because right now with that Kennen presence, they're not going to let any ganks like that happen anymore. They're just going to roam with that Oracles, kill any wards, lose their mid tower actually, and just make sure that they don't let ganks like that happen, because silly ganks and silly picks like that can be the end of a team. That's where you can really build a snowball up as Froggen chases out Pink Pirate.
That's not an easy
These towers fall.
No,
no, it's not. It's like it's the alliteration.
That's 2 tower kills. Oh, sorry, 3 tower kills for CLG. 2 more than Embrace the End have got. Although this mid tower, as you mentioned, is tiny, tiny low. Snoopy lands a good bandage top to Almighty Jesus. Pete's going to keep chasing him down. He's got a lot of MR, yes, but Pete's doing quite a bit of physical damage now. He's got his Infinity Edge complete and a dagger. Kog'Maw starting to reach that scary stage.
I like that Snoopy didn't ult right there. It was off cooldown. They could have tried to go ahead and burst down Almighty Jesus, but they knew that right now they have a good 60 or so seconds before his ult's back off cooldown, and they can do more or less whatever they want. A Galio without his ult is actually still scary, but it's not going to be enough to really contest CLG.
And they are shoving up this mid lane. All 5 members of CLG are here. Embrace the End is a little bit spread. They've got 4, Galio's just based, and Vladimir coming down from their top lane.
Is in position to dive in there and press that R.
He's waiting for that bandage toss through the wall. Kennen Jesus there. The ideal target, but we've got him into the zone, and it does look like CLG are going to back away now that 5 members of Embrace have showed up. Pete stealing this blue buff. No problem at all for that. Snoopy actually face checks into Samicus, takes a lot of the burst time. He takes the ult from Vladimir, pops his own ult, trying to get away, flashes over into the blue pit. Creepo is the focus. He hasn't drunk the oracles yet, and he is so low as he flashes over into the river. CLG spread out, nice ult on Wicked. He's keeping Froggen back. His burst really low before he can get any ult off. Wicked will be the first casualty for there. Samicus is down. Froggen is dead. CLG a little bit behind, but Kringle gets caught by that brilliant bandage toss from Snoopy. Yellow Pete still doing a lot of damage. No one shut him down yet. Snoopy can't quite get finished. Taric chasing that kill all the way and will die to Yellow Pete. And he's now going to flash behind Galio, grab himself a double kill. Kringle's on the run, dash away from that last ult. Pete is still chasing. Kringle needs to be careful. There's not much mana left on Pete, but his auto attacks are critting for so much damage here. Pink Pirat has not really got enough health to come in and help this out. He does look safe. Kringle does catch that one ult, but it's not going to be enough. CLG salvaging what could have been a horrible situation. Bringing that fight out. I think it was even in the end, wasn't it? 2 for 2.
2 for 3. I believe Samakas went down at one point.
Yes, Samakas, Almighty Jesus, and Taric all dropped. Only Froggen and Wicked dropped for CLG, so yes, 2 for 3.
Not even going to try and pronounce Taric's name, huh?
No, just going to skip over it. I will get
okay.
it
Okay, so that fight right there, that's a weird fight to look at because it was going so well for Embrace at the beginning, but the longer any of these fights last, the worse it's going to be because they're a team based off these high cooldown skills. The Vladimir ult, the Galio ult, and not so much the Graves ult, but the Graves requires positioning from those 2 skills to really benefit.
Wicked ults onto Pink Pirat. Snoopy, Froggen, and Creepo are here. They're surrounding him. Silence, he can't dredge line away. Froggen finishes the kill with a W. Good pick for CLG, and they're going to shove down this mid tower with a massive wave of minions.
Froggen with his 200 AP right now, he's getting to the point where Kennen really starts to get terrifying as a poker, because his shurikens are just doing great bursts. He follows it up right away with an electrical surge. It's just a bunch of damage coming out all at once, and it's very hard to deal with, and very surprising too, because shurikens just don't hurt that much early. Look at their damage, 235 at level 5 without any AP. Now that's 400.
Such a good AP ratio. And on top of that, they've slowed now that he's got the Crystal Scepter finish, which, should CLG want to do it, will make Snoopy's bandage tosses a lot easier to land, as I think they've got about the same range, haven't they? Not far off.
You can't actually see skill ranges, can you, in spectator mode?
No, you can't.
Riot.
Froggen coming around the backside of Samicus. See how this plays out. Last time Samicus won the fight. This time Froggen's going to miss the Q. Death by Grass goes out. There's the ult from Samicus. Froggen instantly changes his mind. Lightning rushes through him and back to safety. Well played again. Vladimir just a little bit too strong for this Yordle.
Oh yeah, hey, that is a Deathfire Grasp. Interesting little pick on Vladimir. The new Deathfire Grasp got some nice little buffs. Much more usable prior to the old one.
They took the mana regen off it, didn't they?
I believe so. I'm not actually sure the exact changes. I think the range is also increased.
Reduces damage. CLG are barrening. And it's going down quickly. Going to click on it, keep an eye on its health down there. 4,000 health and ticking. Almighty Jesus and Embrace the End are not close enough to do anything about it. It's down to 1,000. Snoopy's got his smite up. Will drop to CLG, no contention at all. And Warwick flashed over the wall onto Almighty Jesus. Gets his ult out. Doesn't really follow it up with CLG. Bandage toss missing again. Dredge line away. Jesus really low. Wicked's chasing as best he can, but he has been slowed. He's going to give up on that. They're going to go around for Pink Pirat. Here's got vision of him. Snoopy and grabs that kill. Froggen gets it with one last auto attack. And so far, that's the only member of Embrace the End to drop. But Almighty Jesus is low. Samicus was low. He's back on the fountain now. And Creeper's finally popped that Oracle.
How many times have you seen a fight start like that, where one team is doing Baron, the other team's trying to hang around and wait for the rest of their team to show up? Baron falls and they immediately just fall because they're out of position. That happens so much. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes that even high-level teams make that mistake. If you can't stop the Baron, get out. Just don't let yourselves fight, because if you're not going to win, you're not going to win, and you're not going to win if they have Baron too.
Yeah, make your mind up. Go or don't go. Don't hesitate. Otherwise, teams like CLG, with this experience, with this practice, with this coordination, wow, with that damage, instantly makes you pay for it. 2 auto attacks from Yellow Pete, half health that Graves under the turret, and Froggen this whole time been pushing down the top tower.
When you're sitting outside of a Baron like that, you actually just look like sitting ducks to the enemy team when they're good enough. Like, you don't see character models, you just see ducks.
You're in the river, makes sense.
Quack.
If we see that on Reddit, photoshopped in, that would be amazing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But CLG are going to back away. They are all 5 recalling. They are now up by just under 10,000 gold. And when you've got someone like a Kog'Maw and a 6-2 Froggen, 10,000 gold is huge. And well, you can see from the way Embrace the End are playing this, they know it. They are so scared, not leaving the base unless it's 3 at a time, going for this blue buff.
The problem with playing scared like this, and this is kind of the situation they're in, they can't contest blue buff, they can't contest red buff. The enemy team's just going to get all these awesome buffs, be able to just take control of the map, take the next dragon that spawns, be prepped up to take the next Baron that spawns. And what can Embrace do about it? If they try and farm passively, well, they're getting more gold on the enemy team. They do get some extra gold themselves because minions are pushing up so hard, but they can't actually benefit from it as much as those buffs, which are going to be so important. So they're just going to lose these towers, going to get pulled into their base. You might see CLG wait for the next Baron, you might see them not, but they're just setting themselves up to be able to execute them in a fine, risk-free sort of manner.
There goes the last tier 2 turret. 6 kills then for CLG. They've grabbed all those outer turrets and they are shoving down into this bottom lane. We'll see, they've got Soraka and they've got Baron. The sustain on this team now is ridiculous. And if Embrace the End keep catching these ults from Kog'Maw and shurikens from Froggen, they're not going to last for too long under this tower.
The sustain from Taric isn't going to be enough to deal with the sustain from Soraka and Baron buff too.
They're going to start ripping this tower down as the first cannon minion arrives. CLG going to take it all the way. Almighty D is deciding no, that's not going to happen. Flashes in, uses his ult, gets bursted down, and that Froggen ultimate, despite being on the top of everything else that Embrace the End had, Wicked is the only one to fall. Triple kill for Froggen because of that ult, and Soraka grabs the ace. CLG undoubtedly going to end the game right there.
And I mean, that was actually the only chance that Embrace had right there. Had they waited, you would have seen them just take that inhibitor, maybe push a little more in, and just kind of rotate to the next inhib, get set for Baron, take it the second it spawns, and just finish him off. So right there, just going for that fight, you know what? It didn't work, but it's what they had to do. And I got to give them credit for that. It didn't work, but they did what they needed to.
And Froggen flashing his onions in. Oh, I thought for a minute they were not going to end the fountain, let it die. But Snoopy with one last auto attack will finish it off. CLG then will take game 1 in round 1 as our first match for tonight's 4PL monthly final. Congratulations to them. Commiseration to Embrace the End. We will see you guys in a minute's time back with our next game.